Welcome back to Cloudy Reviews.
Hey, hey!
Today we will be continuing our journey on the Wheel of Time of the World,
Book one.
Book 1. We will be going through chapters 16 through 20, so please read them and let's talk about it. Chapter 16, The Wisdom. Rand, Matt, and Perrin and Tom are heading into the inn to meet with Moraine and Nynaeve. On their way, Min grabs Rand. Tom is like, "We don't have time for that, boy." And Min fires right back, "Go juggle something." Oh, Min, I love your quick wit. Min just wanted to give a heads up about Nynaeve's arrival, how she is connected to them. She knows by the signs she sees. Our guys make it to the private dining room and talk about a frost to the air. I love how Egwene is standing there with her cowl pulled up. I think she's feeling a little conscious over taking her braid out and all.
Yeah.
Lan and Moraine is intrigued on how did she even find them. She was like, "Well, it had to be Barrelon. Oh, and I followed your trail. No biggie. I followed a trail. Aes Sedai and Warder tried to hide. It went back and forth enough."
But I think it's important to point out that when Tom and Perrin and Matt ask Rand about Min, he doesn't give away her secret. And I think that really shows what a strong protector that Rand is, because he knows that her secret could be as dangerous to her as all of their secrets are for them. So I think that even before he really knows her well, that you can see his protective nature coming out.
Rand is very steadfast. Nynaeve calls them for what they are, Aes Sedai and Warder, and tells them real quick, "I came to bring them home. I don't care if I let your secrets out." And Tom stood up real quick.
Before that, though, we see Lan get the very first, I think two things that we've never seen happen in this chapter. And the first one, Lan is surprised. He's like, "What do you mean you followed me? Like, there's not even people in the borderlands that can do that." And she just calmly tells him, "Well, I can pretty much track better than anybody in the Two Rivers except for Rand's dad." He was like, "Well, if you can track me, you're definitely doing something right." Which then leads to part two of what we've never seen before. Nynaeve blushes and gets all girly.
All right, little something something. Yeah, so Nynaeve let out their big secret, start blurting about Aes Sedai and Warder, and Tom steps in like, if it gets out that to the wrong people, they'll swarm over this inn. They know you and your village friends are all connected with them. You will not like how White Cloak questioners ask questions. Lamb blurts out, "Well put, Gleeman," and gives him a weighing look. So we're back to your whole assessment of our Gleeman. Might be more than a Gleeman.
He's a little more than meets the eye.
So everybody's thinking that. Lan weighing them a bit, looking at them.
And I think it says a lot about Nynaeve, the way that the boys acted when they were coming in too. Like, Matt made the comment that he would rather see White Cloaks than Nynaeve. And Perrin, it talked about how even though he was so large, it was like he was scared to go in.
Yeah, throughout the whole book, the wisdom is like a power figure at the beginning. She's the town wisdom. She carried a lot of weight. That's why there's so much talk about her being too young to be one.
But like Lorraine, physically, she's not a very big person. And I think that's a cool juxtaposition he makes throughout the book, that you have these powerful little bitty women.
That's in our world right here. How often is the president a buff man? There were very few presidents that were known to throw hands. So,
Andrew Jackson, looking at you.
Well, Tom made his statement and about the dangers associated with Waters and Aes Sedai, and Nynaeve is like, "You made my point. That's why I need to take them from them. And right then, our three lads over how they are needed to go, and they're doing what they need to do. And Nynaeve looking at Rand was like, "You sound like your dad." He made people carry him to the council to speak on just that. Our boy Matt was like, "What about my paw?" She pretty much just said, "Your dad is afraid you'll pull one of your stunts and get your head bashed in."
And not by a Trolloc, guys, by an Outlander, because he knows exactly how Matt is a troublemaker.
Well, after talks of dangers and what Moraine can and can't protect them from, that she can protect them from fades and land can sense Trollocs as far as a quarter of a mile. Can Nynaeve offer as much protection?
But would they need protection if they weren't with an Aes Sedai and a warder? Which I think is the point Nynaeve is trying to make.
Yeah, but I think the whole Winter Night thing would have happened even if Lan Moraine wasn't there. They're like the whole story thing we've seen so far. They're coming for one or all three of the boys.
I agree, and I think that Rand really jumps out of character a little bit, because I think Nynaeve makes him shake a little bit too, and he's like, no, we can't go back, and I think it all draws back to that protective nature that he displays again, because he tells Nynaeve, the Trollocs are following us. If we go back to the Two Rivers, they will take.
Well, Nynaeve is never going to admit defeat, so Moraine asks Egwene to take everyone out and leave her alone with Nynaeve.
Which Egwene is so happy to do.
Whew, everyone was more than happy to leave the room. Well, after a bit, Nynaeve came out and went to Rand, stating Tam's sword suits him. You have grown.
And he's like, grown? Chick, it's been like a week.
No way, not in a week. Well, Nynaeve is tagging along with hopes of making them all see sense and come home, so she's going to stick with them for their own good.
And she also mentions that Lorraine was very interested in where they were all born, which automatically makes Rand go straight in his head, because he's always had this idea of his family, and then his dad like ruined that, and Nynaeve is now kind of solidifying his thoughts about it, because he said, well, I hope you told her that we were all born in the Two Rivers. And she, of course, said she did, but there was like that split second where he saw this look in her face, and he knew, and he was like, I wasn't, was I?
Well, after Rand did some digging, we find out that Nynaeve has a fill-in wisdom in the Two Rivers. And while everyone was debating what to do, Nynaeve left without them knowing. Nynaeve let slip the Marine question her if any of the boys were born outside the Two Rivers. She glances at him, as Christy was saying, and he knows that she knows in that moment. She is the wisdom, after all. That's something all wisdoms would know. Rand let it come forth, and about the fever dreams, what Tam says, she says she remembered Tam coming home with a redhead wife and a child. And she pretty much told him that she didn't tell Moraine. His secrets are safe. We're sensing a little power struggle between Nynaeve and Moraine, so I think it's safe with Nynaeve for now.
And she also tried to make him feel a little better too. She told him about how no woman had ever shown more pride and love in her son than his mom did when they appeared in the Two Rivers.
Is that right? And that pretty much ends chapter 16. Chapter 17, Watchers and Hunters. So we're in the common room, and Tom is telling the Great Hunt again.
But it's never told the same. There's so many characters, so many heroes. Like, you can hear the story of the Great Hunt from so many perspectives.
After a couple more stories, we get music, and everyone eagerly dances along, switching partners. They even dance with Moraine and Nynaeve. We had a man watching with a scarred face. He kept scowling at Rand. Rand thought it was his fault for making the guy uncomfortable about his scar. Next thing you know, Rand was dancing with Nynaeve, then Moraine. We find out old Scarface is a white cloaked spy, and that they would be leaving at first light.
Ugh, the white cloaks. Not a fan.
Well, it's bedtime. Morning will come early, As they head for the bed, Rand stops by the kitchen for a bit of milk. As he enjoyed it, a dark figure started coming at him through the hood back, and it was eyeless. Fade. As the Fade glided closer, it was like, "You're one of them. Where are the others?" It reminded me of that Trolloc that Rand killed at the beginning, how he was talking to him and all. Next thing is Lan jumping out to rescue. As the Fade pulled its blade, the room grew darker.
This Fade wasn't nearly as fun as the Trolloc that we got at the beginning. What was his name?
I can't remember.
Oh, I loved him.
It swung the sword at Rand, then stopped and said, "You belong to the great Lord of the Dark." Then tucked tail and ran. I don't think they're used to running, though. On that note, it is time to leave Barrelon.
They're not waiting for more than now.
Our party is back to traveling in fear of evil, knowing death comes with being caught. The gate's guardman told our party, "By order of the governor, no one comes except for at daylight. Besides, there's wolves out there."
And she's like, "We're not coming. We're going." So obviously that doesn't apply to us.
Yeah, Moraine, kind of a wordplay specialist, like, it states no one to come in, nothing about people leaving. And with a bit of gold, he was happy to agree with her.
And then,
out of nowhere, children of the light appear.
Dun, dun, dun.
After some banter back and forth, Lord Bornhold recognized Rand. Remember Rand, his little feeling loopy and showed his sword a little bit to the White Cloaks? Yeah, that Bornhold.
He's such a jerk.
Well, once he recognized Rand, he was like, "Huh, guardsmen, you almost made a mistake. They are dark friends." And threatens to take them to their questioners, and that did not sit well with Moraine.
And it doesn't with me either. Like, every time we hear from the White Cloaks in here, they're always all about their questioners. I mean, seriously, all they want to do is torture people. I cannot believe that they're just such a cult. I don't like them.
Well, Moraine, kind of offended by that. "You would take me?" And she grew as big as the Jolly Green Giant.
And she's tiny. It's always talking about how tiny she is.
Well, Bornhold, you got to give him credit, because he went in ready to kill.
Yeah, only a leader kind of needs to lead men, and his men weren't so all about it.
Yeah, they had a little fear. Moraine's staff not only stopped his sword, but sent out sparks, and he flew back. "You dare attack me?" She loomed as high as the town wall at this point. Our party shot through the partially open gate. Moraine stepped over the wall. The gate shut, locking the White Cloaks in. Moraine was back to normal size in no time.
Just in time for them, as they're riding away, to turn back and notice what's in flames.
The stag and lion burned.
And now we get a power struggle again between Nynaeve and Lorraine. Because, of course, Nynaeve basically treats everyone the same way, I think.
Well, Nynaeve thinks she knows better than everybody.
And she's like, "What are you doing? You just left those people, and now the place is on fire." And Lorraine is like, "Well, what would you have me do, Wisdom?" And she kind of goes through the choices that she would have. And by the end of it, we learn that she's already planned to send
helping gold and all that to rebuild. And Moraine already has plans ahead of plans. Like she's a grandmaster playing chess. She already thought out the next 5 moves.
Totally.
And to Rand, he had a thought, "I hope Min is okay." A bit later, they stopped for a short rest. 1 hour is all Lan would allow.
And interestingly, this camp is not like any of the ones they've stopped in before. Rand notes that this one isn't nearly as comfortable, and he's got like roots in his ribs when he tries to take his 1 hour nap. I think that's an excellent example of how our author is like showing us that this was not planned.
Yes, they were supposed to leave in the morning. This is just a rest bit. And Matt, out of the blue, they're all laying there trying to go to sleep. I wonder what Dav did with that badger.
Like what, dude?
We were in a city with walls. I thought we were safe.
I'm still a little confused by that. I mean, like, is he identifying with the badger about not feeling safe? The badger probably didn't feel safe either.
I don't think it was that. I think Matt just holds on to some things, you know.
Oh, he's so deep. Like an onion. We're peeling him one layer at a time, folks.
Well, time to wake, and tiredly they hit the road. And that ends chapter 17.
18 will get us on the road to Camelin.
We'll be back after this quick public service announcement from the guards at Barrelon.
Be sure you're not caught outside the walls at dark. Remember, we guard the gate, especially late.
Hello, and welcome to Cloudy Reviews with our read-along with Book 1 of The Wheel of Time, Eye of the World. We are ready to start with Chapter 18, The Camelin Road.
Our party is traveling at a southeast approach along the Camelin Road. They are growing tired of travel rations for supper and dinner. Travel rations typically would include a bread, a hard cheese, and a dried meat. Well, we do know they've been eating cheese and growing very tired of it.
Egwene says she used to like cheese.
I love cheese. Well, the past 2 days, Nynaeve has been trying to talk to Moraine about herbs. Herbs. Why would she be interested in talking with her, of all people, about herbs? Maybe she's looking for some kind of common ground, maybe approval, maybe just trying to have some friendly banter. We know she's very into herbs.
Maybe she just wants to poison her.
Very likely. And we hear a horn blast pierces the air behind them.
Excellent sound effects.
I worked really hard on that. Lan falls back going west and says, "You will know if I fail."
And Moraine refers to him as Lord of the Seven Towers, which gives Rand a moment.
I think it gives Tom a moment because he took note as having a speculative frown on his face, and Rand seems to think Tom knows a great many things.
Dude, I'm with you. So more to this gleaming that meets the eye.
Well, Lan comes back and is like 3 fists of Trollocs, each led by a half man, maybe 5. A fist would be 100, so maybe 500 Trollocs, 5 half men. Wow.
Oh, okay. Wait. Is a fist an actual measurement?
Yes.
This is real?
Yes.
Huh.
Kind of like, I believe a rod is a unit of measurements. They're all kind of different measurements, but...
I know inches, feet, miles. I had no idea a fist.
Fist, they're legions. There are a lot of stuff we don't use in daily life.
I am legion. Okay, sorry.
And she does have multiple personalities, I will attest.
Such a lie.
So a very good question is raised. If they had that many at Eamon's Field, why didn't they use them? If not, how did they get there? They are being herded, our party is, but to what, they wonder. Then they heard horns ahead. So it's like the old hammer and anvil tactic. You got them to the front, to the back. Lan comes up with the only hope, and Moraine doesn't like it. Moraine decides, we go north, and they leave the road. Horn blasts nearer, maybe 2 miles away. They meet a line of Trollocs stretching as far as they can see. A fade at the center. Lan calls out, "For the 7 Towers!" Brandon Perrin cries, Manetheren! What the heck did Matt call out?
I don't know. He was like speaking in old Valerian or something. I don't know.
A little jibber jabberish. Lan fought the fade as all the others tried to fend off Trollocs. It wasn't going good for our lads. Then all of the Trollocs freaked out, and Rand sees that the fade is headless. Tom yells, "It will not die till nightfall." Another good bit of knowledge from our Gleeman, but would that just be something he would know from his stories?
I mean, What Gleeman doesn't know that, really?
Yeah. So they ride on, horns still blasting, Fades and Trollocs coming, Moraine wielding her staff, using the power. The earth rumbles and moans. The world trembles, then rolls out in waves towards the enemies. Trollocs fallen, but the Fades have a grace and kept coming. Then Moraine sent flames out at the Fades and their horses, creating a wall to hold them back. Time to flee. Egwene makes some talk over the boys' battle cries and called out Matt. What did you say? He said, I don't remember. It's all foggy. Egwene said it was like she almost understood, or in the moment she did. Then Moraine, being Moraine, appears behind them, comes up, and repeats what he said and told what it meant. For the honor of the Red Eagle, for the honor of the Rose of the Sun, it was the ancient war cry Manetheren, the old blood sings.
And suddenly, Rand is a little bit unhappy with himself, but he still has the thought, and he's like, oh, maybe they're looking for Matt. And he looks over at Perrin, and he can tell Perrin's kind of having the same thought, and they kind of feel guilty together, I think. But, I mean, I'm kind of with him, guys. Throw Matt to the wolves.
Matt can handle it. But there's not much time for them to ponder on it. More horns. They have made it. They have made it by the fire. Lan says Moraine doesn't have the strength, and they agree on what must be done. Moraine worked some magic, and the wind blew.
Just sound effects everywhere.
She said it will make them think we went that way, giving us some time to get gone. They come across a city 50 times as big as Barrelon, out in the wilderness, some walls crumbling, no people. It was called Ardenhall, an ally of Manetheren. They died now. It is called Shatterlogoth. They enter it and hear the horns, knowing it was discovered as a fake trail. Chapter 19, Shadows Waiting. They were making their way deeper into the city. There is a lot of rubble, but this place is huge. Rand felt foolish for how he was wowed by Barrelon. Lan has the party stop at a white stone building, and Moraine said, this will do. Lan carried Moraine inside, and Tom had everyone bring their horses inside.
By this point, Nynaeve is also convinced Lorraine to take some herbs, and she is very pleased with herself. Again, my first thought is she's poisoning her.
Yeah, Nynaeve is being Nynaeve, which means bossy. Talking to Lan, you and Moraine both need my herbs. Then she calls him Lord of the Seven Towers in a Nynaeve type way, which means snarky, not nice about it. Moraine tell Lan, be at ease. Nynaeve doesn't know what she is talking about. This lets Nynaeve know she treaded on troubled ground and gave some tea to help Moraine rest. Matt is already losing interest in taking care of the horses, looking around.
Has anyone else besides me lost interest in Matt yet?
Well, he had to be reined back in. They're not going to do all the work for him. Matt is like, now since we are done with the horses, we should go look around the city. We have a good hour of daylight. Perrin tell him not to forget the Trolloc, and Matt, of all people, says, Lan said they wouldn't come in here. You should listen to what people say. Laugh out loud. Funny. Like Matt is the one to give advice on listening and doing as someone should.
I mean, if they have known him for all of their, 15 years at this point, they should know that all of his ideas suck.
I disagree. So our lads leave to go look around, all excited. Rand wants to go back for sleep, but Matt is like, sleep later, hunt treasure now. So I do find it hard to believe. You had to be scared, pooless, running for Trollocs and Fades, and now you're so casually, they're outside the gate, they're not coming in, we're good, let's go look around.
So Matt.
And then he's like, how about we climb that tower? I bet we can see far up there. Then they hear a man's voice, the towers are not safe. Scare them like they should already been scared. A man standing in the shadows, not wanting to be in the sun, claims
not freaky at all.
Claims to be a treasure hunter named Mordeth, who has hit it big, just needs some help, and we'll let them have their fill for a reward, if only they would help.
And guess who is on it?
I think all three of them a little bit.
Oh, come on. It was so mad. He was like, yeah.
Now it seems like they should have gave a heads up about the Trollocs to the guy. Even if you don't say Trollocs, maybe bandits or dangerous people gave chase and out and about. Be careful, but when there's gold to be had. They creep down some dark stairs following Mordeth with the thought of gold to be had. They make it down into a big room that has some torches burning. There was huge mounds of gold and all different kinds of treasure. The boys were like, we could come back tomorrow. Marine the land will understand.
Right, yeah, because that's what they're known for, being understanding.
Well, Mordeth was like, you're not alone? Who else? They told and said, we are headed to Tar Valon. Then shit got crazy. Mordeth went in a rage.
Well, wait, Rand noticed he didn't have a shadow about that time, didn't he?
Well, we're not quite there yet.
Oh, okay.
He told them take what they want, except. Then they noticed he did not have a shadow. Mordeth went, it is decided then expanded, filling the room.
And what was it? What did he say?
It is decided.
What's decided?
His course of action. He was in a place, we were going to get them, then he heard about more people going to Tar Valon. So he was like, hey, what to do? Did you get this? But he was going to say not something. Did you get rid of them? Then they noticed that and they were like, it is decided.
Well, I mean, personally, I think as soon as he said that his name was Mordeth, they probably should have been like a little WTF moment. I mean, his name is Mordeth. Weird.
Well, they don't really know the meaning behind it, so...
I'm just saying, somebody walked up to me on the street and said their name was Mordeth, I'd be like, mortified.
Well, you got Matrim, you got Perrin. Perrin would be unusual to me. Rand.
Valid.
Nynaeve. Then all of a sudden, Mordeth was in a shadowy corner and took off. Thinning, fleeing into a crack. Dude, went long and finger thick into a crack. Freaky.
Without a shadow.
I mean, at this point, I think shadow the least of their worries. Dude expanded and got really small into a crack. With that, the lads took off. Of course, Matt wanted a treasure.
Of course he did.
With the feeling of watching eyes on them, they made their way back to the others. Everyone was there except for Lan. They found out that Lan went looking for them, and they told Moraine about what happened. Moraine acted to the name Mordeth. She asked, did he touch you? Did he give you anything? Did you do anything for you? Did you do anything for him? They assured her, no. They were like, it's really your fault, Moraine. You told us it would be safe here.
Because who thought the little dummies were going to go out joyriding in a freaking forsaken land?
Very true, but I wouldn't have left her. I've been glued to them first sight of Trollocs.
And that's about the time that, was it her or Tom that tells them about the story that Mordeth can leave wearing someone else's body? Well,
at this time, Nynaeve calls out my boy Matt. It's Matt's doing. He's always causing some mischief. The others lose their wits around him. What little they had to begin with.
Truth.
Then we get a bit of the history of Shadow Logarth and why the Trollocs and half-men fear it. They learn they met a great evil in Mordeth. The backstory makes me think of Lord of the Rings, the two towers where the guy has the king ear and bewitches him. The king does what the man suggests for him to do. I know I gave a couple of links to Lord of the Rings in here. We learned that Moraine had wards up to prevent this evil from knowing them and coming for them. The shadow waits that Mordeth is a prisoner, Mashadar. That if Mordeth gets someone to go to the city boundaries, he can consume their soul and escape. Moraine tells them to sleep, but who will be able to sleep after these stories? A place that is this evil?
They're the ones out joyriding in it.
So Moraine gave them the history there. They did find some sleep. Rand wakes and it was still dark. Laying there, Lan returns and drops 3 badges. There are like 3 house marks showing what house of Trollocs are present. 4 fades to push them. They're coming through the city. They are so scared to be in there, but they kind of think of What will push the Fades are pushing the Trollocs, but what making the Fades come in there? They would just wait there, but their luck, they're coming straight toward where they're at. They make plans to leave, flee for the river. She can hold them back while they make rafts. Get your horses, for we ride.
And this is where it gets crazy, folks.
That ends chapter 19. We'll be right back after this help wanted ad from the Andor Times.
Mordeth, treasure hunter extraordinaire, seeking day labor to help transport some treasure, offering a vast life-changing reward. If interested, please come to Erdenhall, located in western Andor.
Our party would be nervous and looking around for danger.
Well, I mean, they did just meet a man who got really big and then really small and went through a crack.
And learn that he's this great evil that could taint them, that the city's tainted, that Trollocs and Fades coming for them. They would be terrified.
Yeah, I'd probably be looking around me too.
Well, I mean, they're heading through here. They're nervous. They're looking around as they're going. Well, it'd be a bit easy for separation to come in between the party, slowing down, looking around. And that is exactly what happened. There became a gap around 30 paces. Then a tendril of a silvery gray fog creeped between them, and Moraine urged them to stop. Can't let it touch you. It is Meshadar. If it touches you, you will die. Moraine cannot destroy it. It is ancient and as vast as Shadar Logoth.
I mean, if Lorraine can destroy it and she can, walk over a wall, then it's some bad stuff.
Right. So they must find different paths, for the tendrils are not everywhere. They do sense and moves toward them. They are looking to feed. So not only do we have to worry about Fades and Trolloc, we have to avoid this fog-like thing. Great. Pile it on. Rand took charge, leading his party. As they looked for a way out, they accidentally came upon Trollocs, and the Trollocs just as afraid in there as they are, and a bit of a shock, stare at each other for a minute. In this moment of fear, the party kind of split, going in different directions. Rand ended up in some shadows looking for a safe way. He saw a catchpole. Pulling out his sword, he charged with Cloud. It was no catchpole, though. It was Matt's bow.
I'm not sure it was a great idea to split up.
Well, it wasn't planned. They were going, and when they saw the Trollocs, they said, you heard 3 or 4 different voices all shout out this way, and they all sped trying to get away. It wasn't planned. It was a moment of fear trying to get away. So as he almost took Matt's head off, luckily he didn't. Matt would have messed him up.
Probably would have had a lot less conflict.
As they talked for a second, then started back on a slow, cautious pace.
Matt's never done anything cautiously.
Making it to a way out the wall, they hear Tom shouting, "Ride, you fools!" And Tom sped past them. They followed as fast as their mounts would go.
Because, that's what I do when someone calls me a fool, too.
Well, you're trying to creep and sneak, then you got somebody flying by. Run, you fools! Ride, your fools! Yeah, that'll be a sign of, hey, behind you. And then we cut to Perrin watching in the shadows, studying a way out. We get some inner thoughts of Perrin, thinking on how he knows people think he is slow, but he like to be careful and think things through. He's used to be able to hurt people if he acts careless.
And if he doesn't think things through, there's no telling what Matt's going to get him into.
A good time. He started making his way and saw a figure. The figure called out, "Rand?" It was Egwene. Horns blasting and Trollocs coming, they took off, racing through trees. Egwene was falling behind, urging her forward, then drop! Like the Beastie Boys. He rode into a major, oh-so-cold river, struggling to swim, water soaking in his clothes, ants weighing him down, then spears flying, current taking him away. Discarding his cloak, fighting against the river, he made it to the other bank.
Yay. We love Perrin.
Back to Rand, Matt, and Tom. They fled on, barely keeping their necks out of catch poles. Tom threw some knives, putting 2 Trollocs down, then throwing again. Heard the third shriek. Ah!
He was really upset. Those were his best knives.
He grumbled about those best knives. Or simple gleeman, huh? They find the river. Tom knows they can't stay and started down the river. Rand was like, if we leave that, we could keep Moraine and Lan from finding us. Tom was like, so it would. So it could. Like, maybe that would be a good thing.
I think that's what he's thinking.
They came upon a boat in the river. This will be a huge river, the boat at least 80 feet long. With thoughts of approaching the captain, Trolloc showed up, so change your plans. Rush onto the boat. Tom jumping onto it, yelling, "Wake, you fools! Trolloc's!"
I mean, Tom's just calling everybody fools. Like, that is not the way to go around and make friends, Tom.
Maybe Tom really see a lot of people as fools. Rand and Matt right behind him, Rand coming down feet first onto a man's face.
Okay, I amend that statement. That is less of a way to make friends.
Oh, man, I can only imagine. Men scrambled, cutting lines, sending the boat on its way. The man landed on and cried, "Spare me! Take the boat or whatever you want, but spare me!" Then, boom, Rand was hit. He turned looking at Trolloc on the railing. As he was stunned, a boon swung and knocked the Trolloc off the side.
A boon? Is that like a ship thing?
Yeah, boon. It might be boon. Boon or boon.
Interesting. I don't know a lot about ships.
Like, I believe boon is part that hold the mast. You can move it from side to side to control the wind direction.
Got it.
Rand knew that he had used up his luck. A man approached them. He was bearded with no mustache. A big man, not soft. He called for Glib. This is the guy Rand landed on. As Glib was being scolded, he claimed that Rand attacked him with a club, that Rand is in league with the Trollocs. The captain, Captain Domin, did not believe it and is pretty dang mad. Glib has to go at the next stop.
Poor Glib.
Poor guy sleeping on the job.
Like, get his face crushed. Not nice, Glib. Not nice.
Well, he was supposed to be standing watch. And more like he was laying, not watching. Rand tried to get the captain to turn back for his friends, and then the captain took them below in his quarters of the Spray, his ship.
He's kind of like, dude, do you think we've been sitting still this whole time? Like, shore's like 3 miles away now.
Been moving. Y'all said Trollocs, we got going.
Right?
So this is Captain Bell Domin, captain of the Spray. He wanted their story. Tom told who he is, and they are his apprentices, or wannabe apprentices.
He's not sure he wants them
Yeah.
yet.
He spun a story that was similar, how he got a map to the place for treasure.
I like that in his story that all acts of heroism usually come from him. If I were going to tell a story, that's the way I'd tell it to you, Tom. Yeah.
Trust me, she would. Money must pay for passage. Requesting Rand's sword. Rand was like, hell no.
That's my daddy's.
No free passage, not even to his own mother. And we might come back to that later in the story.
He talks a lot about his family and his little things. He wouldn't do it for his brother, his grandma. Like, he throws out all sorts of family members.
Afraid to be thrown off, they offered all the coin they had.
And the whole time, Tom is just glaring at him.
Yeah, they even gave the coins Moraine gave them. Tom scolded them that he could have got them passage for entertainment.
But they're not sure they agree.
And Rand was sad, thinking that he should have done more to prevent Egwene from coming.
Such a man, thinking that he can, like, control a woman.
Not about control. You want to save the loved ones you can, help the people you can. That ends chapter 20.
Adios, guys.
And we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Please come back, join us. If you have any thoughts, please leave them below. We'll be right back after this help wanted ad from the Andor Times.
Mordeth, treasure hunter extraordinaire, seeking day labor to help transport some treasure, offering a vast life-changing reward. If interested, please come to Erdenhall, located in western Andor.